I don't think I can spend any more time with Kylie considering how high-strung I feel. So it is a good thing that Suarez came for her as soon as I've called. Though it's earlier than the agreed upon time, voices no complaint. The bastard even has a look of relief as soon as they left. Or at least I interpreted it I interpreted it as such from where I stood by one of the windows, not bothering to step out and greet the man. No doubt he still doesn't trust me around his pond. Well, he has every right to be suspicious of me. I am a dangerous man, after all. But, to my chagrin, that leaves me with the rest of the day with nothing to do. Well, aside from picking up the mess Kylie left scattered about in the parlor. My immense relief, she remembered to take her doll home with her this time. But the same cannot be said of the crayons and papers littered here and there. First, first things first. I snatch my own doodle off the table and rip it to shreds, leaving no hope that it will see the light of day. The rest of the drawings, all Kylie's, remain unharmed as I collect the lot. Though they have been stacked neatly on the table before, they must have been blown about when I saw Kylie off. And there are plenty of them. From cats and cakes to colorful rainbows and gardens. The child managed to make a lot during her morning here. There is one more that I have to fish out of the fireplace where it landed. Expecting to see another one of Kylie's masterpiece, I am instead greeted with something a bit more concerning. There's me, and there's Kylie. The two of us, side by side and smiling as our stick figure selves stand in a nondescript field. That much I can ascertain without looking at the labels below the doodle's feet. But a third figure stands next to me in the drawing. A woman, with her face hidden behind a curtain of black. Akako, the writing under her supplies.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
Hairs to the back of my neck stand on end, and I feel a chill go down my spine. A breath. That isn't mine. That has me turning around, expecting, hoping to see someone, anyone. But nothing. And that's when I hear it. Laughter. Sweet and merry laughter ringing from the ballroom. Thinking about it has my cheeks burning and blood running hot. It's as if I'm being mocked. As I stomp towards the door, I have to stop myself from shouting up a storm. I expect to see some of the help dallying about, idle from their duties. Perhaps they thought they can slack off in their duties without the head butler around and my preoccupation with Kylie. Well, they had another thing coming. But again, nothing. Nothing from what I can see with a cursory glance, at the very least. I roam around, looking for near impossible hiding places. And, still, I'm alone. Yet I can still hear the laughter, that accursed laughter echoing about in the room, in my head.
Who's there? Show yourselves and show some respect to the master of the house!
Cold uneasiness settles into my stomach when no one answers. Stumble on my own 2 feet, feeling a wave of nausea come from nowhere. I have to put a hand against the wall to stay upright when the world shifts and pain explodes from behind my eyes. It takes every ounce of my self-control not to heave, then and there. The only thing my pride allowed me to do is to close my eyes and attempt to alleviate some of the pain. Vague, unfamiliar images, dare I say memories not mine, flash in my head, unbidden and unwelcome, Like a strong hammer struck to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. Whatever emotions they hold are muted. I'm nothing but a spectator. Still, its weight feels palpable. Though it doesn't take long for these sensations to get into my head, through my eyes and my ears, it creeps and buzzes in the spaces between. One after another, they come at me, an unending flood that threatens to sweep me away for what feels like an eternity. Each one a show of both joy and suffering for those who have called this mansion their home. Each new scene is like a hammer to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. I can feel every little emotion in the blurry images that present itself in my head. I feel a part of these, like I've lived through them, though I know that it's not possible. All their anger burns through me, that much is evident. But the pain more so. And above all of it are the whispers. The voices calling, luring, until one image emerges in vivid contrast with the others. When there's a shout of joy, my eyes snap open, looking for the culprit. That's when the whole room just changes. Everything is the same, yet everything isn't. There are people everywhere, laughing and dancing. I should be concerned about them, but my mind finds it easy to dismiss them as they fade in and out from nothingness. Instead, I find my concentration drawn to a man and a woman, though one can only call them a lord and a lady going by their clothes. And oh, just see how happy the couple looks. Though the man's eyes are eerily blank, like he's not all there, his face is familiar. In fact, they both are, but I can't quite place why. They make for a pretty picture as they dance in the center of the ballroom. Even the phantom crowd's attention stay on them. It reminds me so much of Hana and I during the early days of our marriage, honeymoon years, they call it. We were happy then, too. All smiles and her sunshine. Even with the normal dreary weather, younger, had less to worry about. Or at least, thought that way. I wished, could go on that way even with all that I did and had to do. Life was a way of catching up. There was work to be done. Although we had to stay the loving, perfect couple in public, I could not afford to look so weak. To appear tied down to someone else, to those who knew who I really am. I had to harden my heart when I have business, but it hadn't always been so easy to just switch that part of me on and off. I should be concerned about their intrusion too. Ask what in the bloody hell they are doing in my house, throwing a party as if they own the place. Ask myself how the fuck I didn't notice what was going on before, when the parlor and the foyer are both only a few doors away. There's a horrid feeling of envy. And though I have long accepted that I am a jealous person by nature, I have never felt such a strong feeling of envy as I have now. They were happy with each other, these people, but Hana and I... Envy turned into anger. Anger for something I could not have. But I have the feeling that yelling and screaming at them won't do much of anything anyway. None of the others have given me notice. I realize that this might not even be real. It dawns on me that these two are the people from the paintings, the ones all over the mansion. Which makes sense. I don't think I'm imaginative enough to make all this up on my own. This must be a dream. Or a really horrible high. Just then, I can feel eyes on me as I contemplate the absurdity of the situation. Yet I find difficulty in trying to tear my eyes away from the two dancing. I manage. I regret looking away. The woman from the garden stands beside me. I can hear her rattling breath, menacing and chilling. Everything in me screams to run. But something pins me to the spot as she just looks at me, watching and waiting. The clamor of their voices fill the ballroom. Although they say such welcoming words, I do not feel comforted with the madness I'm experiencing. Their joyous voices turn sinister and foreboding to my ears. The cars of people that shouldn't exist, threaten to overwhelm me, drown me even as I stand on dry land. The music still plays as the Phantom Quartet continues while I stand here, vulnerable and afraid, but the dance has already ended. I am afraid that I might just be tonight's entertainment. Tension is all well and good until bollocks like this go down. These phantom people watch me, thousands of eyes scrutinizing, though they cheer for my return. Cajole me to dance and join the merriment. There are eager hands all over, pulling me in every direction, but they do not move me enough to remove me from the woman's gaze.
Listen. Can you not hear them as they welcome you home? Your kind, our kind. You're one of us, my love. We are bonded by the blood we share.
If I thought the voices were overwhelming before, it is nothing compared to how they are now. Their voices are loud, speaking in unison and echoing ever on in the spaces of my head. They welcome me back, if I've always belonged, if I was meant to be here in the first place. They call me all these titles and names that do not belong to me. That man's face, the one with the empty eyes, flashes again before me. Once, fleetingly, like a new memory having burned itself in my mind. I have to struggle for air when I come back to myself after.
I'm not. This isn't.
The welcomes turn into screams at my protest, pained and desperate pleas for my help, telling me that it is my duty to stay, telling me that I belong among them, to them. Gentle touches turn near threatening, the warning scratches and the baring of teeth by predators before they truly maim someone. My mouth goes dry as I struggle to speak some sense in this hallucinatory madness, but I don't get the chance as they drown out my voice.
Our Lord, my Prince.
Her words, there is a compulsion to stay. Though my heart races in my chest, the fear I should be experiencing refuses to register in my head. Mind and body war with each other, nearly tearing me in two.
Oh, you finally returned to us.
The compulsion to walk into her arms is strong. Whispers in my head tell me to go to her. They say that she is safety, she is home and heart.
We have been waiting for so long.
But repulsed at these thoughts, I wrench away and turn with a small gasp. Without hesitation, I start to make a run for it. I nearly falter when an angry shriek pierces the air, inhumane and monstrous. I don't dare look back, I just run. I didn't care if this is a drug-induced hallucination or not. Just run. Out of the ballroom. And out of the parlor. It's only then that I bother to look back, hoping and praying to the God I scorn that it did not pursue me. I would have run all the way out of the mansion too if only someone didn't get in my way. I collide with a body much larger than mine and fall back to the ground, head spinning as I look up at the stained glass. Let's see. Turning my head to the side replaces the colorful sight with a pair of shiny black shoes. Fatigue fills every inch of my being then, making me refuse to get up. Meanwhile, a familiar head of ginger hair looks down at me in bemusement.
You really must look where you're going if you insist on running about. Do tell, where is the fire?
Oh, thank God you're here.
I do hope you don't have a concussion. Can you count backwards from 15 to 1 for me?
Oh, fuck off, you wanker. Just help me up.
I do not think insulting me if you do have a concussion is a smart decision. But no, really. 15 to 1.
That woman, she was here. I told you to keep an eye out for her.
The other man offers an arm and pulls me up to my feet then. But before I can storm off and pull him to the ballroom, he anchors me down with one hand on my shoulder and the other touching the back of my head.
No bruising or bump. That still does not mean that you don't have a concussion. If you are too lazy to count backwards, can you tell me your full name? Where are you currently?
We don't have Lucille Mitchell Wright, and this is the Ermengarde bloody fucking foyer. But we don't have time for this.
You must make and have the time to make sure you are not broken in the head. I have already sent security to scour the whole house when I saw you running out of the parlor, Dummkopf. If the woman is here, they will have her. You will only be slowing them down if you plan to interfere.
When he points that out, I realize that there are guards starting to filter into the house as we speak, with some already searching the nearby rooms. Armed and uniformed men go about in pairs, making it so that the house is in a flurry of activity. Let's go of me then, with the knowledge that I'm not going to keel over anytime soon.
I was hoping that you would be tired from dealing with the young miss on my return. Instead, you come running and hit your head. Such a troublesome boy. Shall I be carrying you to bed, too?
I can manage just fine on my own. Though I don't see how I can sleep until that woman is caught.
It'll be easier to keep you safe in your quarters. This is twice we've known the woman to break in. I think we can safely presume that you hold her interest.
He says it as a matter of fact, in a tone that brooked no argument. Not like I'll argue if it means I'm kept safe. The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though, and two of the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Not until we get inside. Johan's eyes scan the room wildly, a look of dread on his usually stoic face. And I don't understand for a moment, looking around the bedroom, empty. But then I realize.
Where's Hannah? She came home with you from the hospital, didn't she?
She's supposed to be here. I sent one of the maids to accompany her here, to let her rest.
I feel the color drain from my face when he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
I'm not staying in here while Hannah stays out there.
One of the guards will find her and bring her here.
And what if they don't? What if that woman gets to her first? What if she already has her?
That's not possible.
You can't promise that.
There's no second thought as I reach under the side of my bed and pull out one of my knives. I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we are both unarmed. But with this, I can even the field, or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for Hannah, and you're either with me or you aren't. I'm not risking Hannah, and I'm not leaving her alone.
Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a withering look on him that I try to match. One that, somehow, I'm losing fast to, even with him not saying a word yet.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You are in no proper state to go looking for anyone. If it will make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one person to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it is his tone. Despite his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think that over the years he has grown to care for Hannah, at least. Much as I loathe to admit this, I trust him with her safety over any servant in this house. So, an acquiesce.
You have 2 hours, Shirokin. I don't think it'll take that long to find one missing woman in this house. 2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child? Watching me and treating me like one. There's the reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions. Then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. Quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by a loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. Power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, its pitter-patter hitting hard against this place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Hana will be safe too. Broken will find her, and when I wake, she'll be here. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me. Bringing with it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a time long gone.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
Yet, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Difficult, every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears, or the sight of her horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is. After an exhausting day yesterday, babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home, I think I deserve a little break, every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within a span of a few hours, you know? As gracious a host and person I am, my patience has its limits too. Although there's still that problem with Hana, I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Shroken. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. More than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hana while Hana.
You do not need her. I am here. We are
to us.
How long has it been since? Johans has never taken this long before.
Surely there should have been an update by now, right?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Curious, where are we? Been so much like update.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder. That sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. Must have left it open earlier for dozing off. The carpet in the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hannah's going to be so cross when she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's this power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, peering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's this storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans! Has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans?
Silence.
Shrokin! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It's only been a few hours after midnight, if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable, he went looking for Hana as he promised. But bloody hell, my safety is also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket, and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. One of my drawers underneath the clutter I've yet to organize. The muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hannah's never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I've not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together. Otherwise, she would have already had it thrown out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Okay? Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where the fuck did everyone go?
There were two, weren't there? Broken had two blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. What? Did both of them decide to take a break? Because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them?
Damn nitwits!
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city like Luxborn, but bollocks. There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited, who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shrokin won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands after all. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them and save only himself. So, where then? Only my footsteps echo along the dark passage, and I'm left gripping the handle of my pistol, some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with this storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling. Of course, it's just the wind and the trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come of allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me, one after another. Especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Get Ashton in the gang. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. I've all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. Smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. If one of these wogs sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy too? What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this? Not to mention Mint. Hannah trusted her. I trusted her to be a professional, at the very least, for fuck's sake. Top it all off, they all have the nerve, to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers. What is wrong with these people? Do they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? Or what are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hannah's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a motive.
Make them pay.
And it better be a good one.
For all the wrong they've done to us.
For a bullet to the head is the least of them will deserve. Is the least of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sound hits close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however. I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting. The heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. Kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. Short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did. Because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened in there? What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Lout.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hands already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger's more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him, but more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His lives in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home, can you believe it? I feel so left out.
Until the exact moment when the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face. As soon as his feet hit the floor and he looks up. He's already a prey trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that, I can't just risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It will literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own. Even if he knows it's already too late. Still, he glares at me. Still, he fights back.
Now, Feathers, manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping. Just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying, most of the time, like a damn pest you can't be rid of. but to some degree, it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner, in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside, not like I wanted this. But I'm already high-strung and their presence does not help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure how their minds fully work. Take this one, for example. Despite the pride brimming in him, how he matches my glare with one of his own, simply lowers his pistol after a long second, not in surrender. The tense set in his shoulders tells me as much, but the closest he can get to lowering his own ego in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed.
As you should be, my lord.
I've expected him to hold until one of us shoots the other. Can't say it'll be more exciting that way. A bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I'd like to have on a bad day like today, or any day for that matter. But it'll surely be predictable of him. And I like predictable. They're the kinds of people who are the easiest to deal with, no matter the situation. With them, there's no second guessing what they'll do. He shoots, I shoot. One of us dies, the other walks away. Nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power, just muscle memory and who's the better shooter. End of story. Yet here he is, dragging a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way, be done with this whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession, for a person who, in another life, would have also become the person I am today, had his circumstances allowed it. Damn shame. Might have gotten along,
Listen, right. I need you to.
but alas,
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
meeting of two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. And I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear even facing the business end of my pistol.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
Best truth I can offer him. Not many people, those who have slighted me in particular, live this long to see it.
And he should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer to. Preferably right now, because as generous as I have been so far, my patience has its limits. The amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muzzle of the eagle against his temple.
Ashton!
Eagle, so it's a desert eagle? Gun.
Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
They'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close.
Teach this loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
and he knows it. Of course he does. Hitman or not, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. But not many bother to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun's safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar. Too similar. We're too alike in so many little ways, it's funny. Down to fact that he doesn't even flinch, no matter how heavy the threats in my words are. Even knowing how one flick of my finger on the trigger will be enough to end his sorry life. He should have caved in by now, started begging like so many others before him. Instead, he throws more vitriol, adds more kindling to a fire already burning.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further that I can't help but return it to him with equal fervor. We don't need him, my love. You think that's supposed to be voice acted? We'll see.
Why, you insolent!
We both decide to move in that moment, both our bodies tensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. However, before we can even get a head start, a voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue.
Luke, help me. Please.
I've always been cautious and careful, cutting off trouble's head, or things can escalate if I'm able. That's why I deal with the likes of Harvey, Juarez, and Johans. For all who we are, for all the enemies the likes of us can make, such a thing has never happened before. So I do everything to make sure it doesn't happen. So to see Hana in danger, I don't quite know how to feel or what to do. All the times for there to be a hostage situation, if this is even one, why now? Good fucking God, what is going on here?
Help me. Please. Please make it stop.
I think death would be preferable if my sense of self-preservation was shot to high hell. It would deprive me of choice and of responsibility in the matter. And I don't want to think about how fast my heart beats, so that I hardly hear anything other than my own heartbeat and her pleading.
Please. They're in my head. Screaming. It hurts so much.
What do I do? What can one do against someone holding your life in their hands? With a woman that looks more monster than man. When her expression turns into one of amusement and her horrific laughter fills the air, I'm torn apart. It is my fault, isn't it? Hana is in danger because of me. Everybody I love always ends up hurt or worse. And even when I chose to let her go, she is no exception. Hana's unbroken begging makes it all the much more painful. Because I still love Hana, I really do. But will I really endanger myself for a woman who might not love me back anymore? Still, something in me dies a little when that woman laughs as if this is all some sick joke. Her smile taunts me, filling my head with laughter and rage until I can barely think over the cacophony in my head. Cacophony? And the way the woman looks at me, it's as if she's watching, waiting for my next move.
Please. Someone. Anyone. Help me.
This is crazy. And I don't know what I should do. I know for a fact that one shouldn't aggravate a hostage taker. There's no winning an argument with someone who holds a life easily taken. But I need to do something, right? My decision is taken from me, however.
Why? Why are you doing this? And look at you, smiling like this is a funny joke! Don't you dare lay a hand on that woman! She didn't do anything to you to deserve this, did she?
To see the great black man like this is perhaps the most terrifying I've seen him. What little anger he is capable of feeling is clear on his face, lining his soft and kind features. He would certainly be a fright had the woman not possessed such a monstrous countenance that he cannot rival. There's a tired look in the man's eyes, contrary to the rest of his heated look. Clearly, this is a man who is rarely angered and disliked being so. I have no doubts that it would take great effort for him to be anything other than pleasant. He's clearly aggravated and he turns an accusatory glare at me.
Are you really just gonna stand there? Really?
Maybe. What to do? And where are they?
Come on, man, she's your wife!
Oh, what the bloody hell do you expect me to do?
Exactly.
Well, you're doing a whole lot of nothing. I expected more from you at least. This ain't right!
And maybe doing nothing is the best course of action here. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe, just maybe, I need time to think. Did you even stop to think that confronting her might make things worse? This isn't some bloody action film where me charging in is going to save anyone. One stupid move from any of us, and Hana might be dead because of it!
He grits his teeth and has nothing to refute my point. And it's obvious he's not happy about how right I am. And frankly, I don't like it either. The woman doesn't look armed, but that does not mean she's not dangerous. If anything, the fact that she's this confident, this unperturbed, while being barehanded is a testament to itself. Either she's well prepared or she's just that crazy. She's just that crazy, yeah. And it's one thing to work with hostage takers, and another thing entirely to work with the criminally insane. Hush settles over the room as she speaks up. Her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks, the woman from the gardens and the servant girl from the ballroom, from the hallucination, vision, memories, whatever they were.
Will you not speak up for her? Will you not try to save your beloved wife?
I cannot stop the heat from flooding my cheeks. Shame turning me red and making me grit my teeth in anger. And that same anger sets a fire in me, burns through the fear, spurs me on to call her out because of pride.
Why? Will my words hold any sway? Who's to say you won't snap her neck the moment I take one step? Do you take me for an idiot?
I take you for a coward. Nothing but a spineless coward.
It seems she's found what she's looking for, and that she has no further use for Hana. Hand on Hana's back sends her falling down the stairs. Nothing but a rag doll, thrown away because she's lost interest with her like a child with an old toy. I'm frozen in place, but still, he catches her, and that sends the two of them crawling at the foot of the stairs. And I have to stop myself from lashing out at how closely he holds Hana to him. It can easily be interpreted as a lover's embrace, and it does not help that I had the fleeting thought that she was cheating on me with him. I let it go, as this is not the best time, even for my dramatics, because he did protect her from what could have easily been a dangerous fall. The anger and frustration from his expression bleeds out until he's all soft edges and smile once more. He smiles up at Hana, one that doesn't look platonic to my eyes, and suppresses a groan.
Ugh! I was not expecting that. She didn't hurt you, did she, Hana?
And the way she smiles back at him makes me feel jealous, though I don't know who wouldn't be. Anyone would be lucky if Hana ever so much as looks their way like she does with Steel now. If this were any other situation, this would be the straw on the camel's back, where I'd wrench Hana off from him and make my fists do the talking.
Oh no, I'm fine, Zachary. And you? Are you alright? I wasn't too heavy, was I?
But if Hana doesn't wish to be with me anymore, perhaps she will easily find happiness with someone else, even if that someone else is him. He helps her to her feet, like a proper gentleman. And I suppose he's fine enough if Hana would ever want him. I don't think anyone would be ever truly worthy of her, but if he is what she wants, who am I to say otherwise once it's all said and done?
Yeah, you're heavy. I'm a bit worried you would have crushed my ribs. But, I'm well padded.
Hana laughs, out of breath, and she smiles at me, though that disappears as quick as it had appeared. We aren't quite out of the woods yet, and she hasn't forgotten what I did, or rather what I failed to do. It's only fair, I suppose. I'm nothing but a coward in her eyes, a sorry excuse for a man who can't even muster up the courage to protect her. And I nearly forget for a moment as I watch the two of them.
You do not deserve what you have.
Just hearing her voice triggers something in Hana, and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear. Zach is quick to place his hands on Hana's face so that she looks at him and him alone.
Anna, look here. You're all right. You've got me and him. Between the two of us, you'll be fine, yeah? We won't let you hurt her again.
He reassures her with a nod in my direction, and I still think he's far too soft. I don't know exactly what in bloody hell is going on, yet I can't find it in me to care, whoever these people are and whatever they're here for. This is not acceptable. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. All the times I have seen the woman before, it could have all been an act to get to me, to get under my skin. And to think they dare hurt Hana. All that, the fear that I had felt, seeing her touch Hana, I can only think of her as an actress in grotesque makeup. My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone. Anger fills me as I look at the woman, near on my face.
How dare you! I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hana! I want you out of my house, out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life! And that goes for all of you!
I hold my ground, firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her, she just laughs in my face. A terrible, dreadful laugh makes me feel as if there are ants crawling on my skin and maggots squirming into my ears.
You are telling me to get out of your house. You threatened to lock me up.
She laughs and she laughs.
What's so funny? What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists, and it almost feels like her voice is in my head.
Oh, no different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
And that is when everything turns to complete and utter shite. A slow thing, a whisper more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. The walls shudder and groan. Blood runs from the ceiling, falls down the walls and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it's just the foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashings of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere, echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily, while Steel and Feathers stand protectively in front of the two. Brave of them, I have to admit, to put themselves in the front line like that. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they don't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away!
No. Stay away. Stay away.
Their screams fill the mansion. He laughs all the while, harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there's nothing but silence, her horrid smile and pale hands reaching out to me, calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified, I really am, but I should be. But I have never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive. Not like rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside of me to survive. There's no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood we share? This is your home. Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay, together with me, with us, with people no different from you.
What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
Don't listen to her, she lies. I promised no such thing to anyone. Hana, you're the one who bought this house. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity. That must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? In my entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere two people. Hannah Evans and Eleanor Handler. No one else. The rest of those who claim I've promised anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but I'm not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I am to keep myself alive. Yet, she still goes on, insists, making me appear a liar in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten? You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed. Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes. Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
He, the monster, reaches out again. Her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. Her body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back, one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her. Anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I'm nothing like her. I need to get out of this house. Out of this country, preferably. There's nothing for me here, not anymore. Nothing to keep tied to this place. With Hana planning to leave, broken, likely taken by this woman, nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave. I can...
Careful, Luke!
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me a paper, familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again, from the open house, though it feels like a gimmick and more like a threat, what with recent events. It must have fallen from one of these peasants in the commotion earlier. For a moment they appear conflicted to see it in my hands, but wisely keeps their opinions to themselves, leaving the damned thing to simply bear its grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me. Help me. Help me. Is it what they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shite? Because of some stupid old letter? An invitation indeed. One I'm not willing to accept. Not any time. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I won't give her the chance. I'm not dying here. I certainly am not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panic gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door and, without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion's grounds like I am expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.